All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about a real powerhouse of the Bangladeshi economy, its leather industry. We're talking about a sector with huge global reach, but it's staring down a single challenge that could honestly make or break its entire future. So, let's get into it. Okay, so this is the number that's really at the heart of everything we're discussing. $10 billion. I mean, it's a huge, almost audacious figure, right? So what's it all about?
Well, that's the official export target the government has slapped on the calendar for 2035. And let me tell you, this isn't just some number they pulled out of a hat. It's a serious strategic goal for the country's second-largest export sector. The plan is to turn it into a global titan. But the big question is, can they actually pull it off?
To really get why that $10 billion goal is such a challenge, we first have to understand just how big this industry already is. It's a major player for sure, but its growth story is, well, full of contradictions. I mean, the scale here is just immense. We're talking about the second biggest export earner for the entire country. It holds about 3% of the global leather market and supplies almost a tenth of the entire world's demand. And get this, it employs around 850,000 people. It's an absolute cornerstone of the national economy.
But here's where things get weird. It's like a tale of two industries. Check this out. On one hand, you've got leather footwear exports, just soaring, up by almost 29%. That's fantastic. But then you look at finished leather, the actual raw material you need to make all that high-value stuff, and it's actually down by almost 8%. That kind of imbalance, well, it's a huge red flag that something deeper is wrong.
And that deep problem has a name. Experts call it the Great Compliance Trap. This is the real conflict at the heart of the story. It's a single massive bottleneck that's costing the industry hundreds of millions of dollars every single year.
So to understand this trap, you have to know about something called the Leather Working Group, or LWG. The easiest way to think about them is as the gatekeepers for the world's biggest brands. They audit tanneries for environmental performance and safety, and if you want to sell to the big guys in fashion and footwear, you absolutely, positively need their seal of approval.
Now here's the core of it. The problem boils down to a single facility. The Central Effluent Treatment Plant, or CETP, over at the Savar tannery estate, well, it's basically broken. It can't properly treat the industrial waste, which means massive pollution. And because this one plant isn't working, nearly all the tanneries that rely on it are automatically disqualified from getting that all-important LWG certification. It's a total bottleneck. And the economic damage is just staggering. This one gap, this one failure to comply, cost the industry an estimated $500 million in lost exports every single year. Without that LWG approval, tanneries can't sell to the premium brands. They're forced to sell to lower-end markets, often for 20, sometimes even 60% less. The gatekeepers have locked them out.
And if you want to see just how big a deal this is, just look next door. While Bangladesh has, a handful of these certified tanneries, its main rivals, India and Pakistan, they have hundreds. This isn't just a small gap, folks. It's a chasm, a massive competitive disadvantage that's basically kneecapping the whole sector.
And the headaches don't stop there. On top of the LWG crisis, you've got other issues piling on. Up to 20% of raw hides are wasted every year just from poor management. The industry has been really slow to adopt modern tech. And now, you've got brand new, super strict rules coming out of the EU about chemicals and deforestation, which adds a whole new layer of pressure.
Okay, so that sounds pretty bleak, I know. But there is a very clear path forward. The focus is now shifting towards building a truly sustainable future and finally unlocking all of that incredible potential.
The solutions aren't simple, but they are clear. Step 1, and this is the big one, fix the treatment plant. It is the key that unlocks everything else. Then, you have to modernize the entire supply chain, from how you preserve the raw hides all the way up to national policy. Third, you got to invest in green tech and R&D. And finally, build digital systems that can prove, without a doubt, that you're complying with all these new global rules.
And why does this matter so much? It's because of this number, 90%. That's the kind of value you can add by shifting from just exporting semi-finished hides to actually making high-value finished goods right there in Bangladesh. The economic prize for getting this right is just enormous.
And one of the most exciting parts of this whole story is the innovation that's already happening. You have companies like Banufi Leather making leather out of banana fibers, and Rhineco Leathers using fruit peels. They're literally turning agricultural waste into leather alternatives. This is not only super sustainable, but it also completely bypasses a lot of those traditional tanning and compliance problems. It's brilliant.
All of this really points to a fundamental change that has to happen. It's about a whole new strategic mindset, one that shifts the industry's entire focus away from just cost and towards quality. You know, for decades, the playbook was simple: cheap labor. That was Bangladesh's big advantage. But as this quote makes crystal clear, in today's global market, that just doesn't cut it anymore. The future isn't about who can do it for the lowest cost, it's about who can do it best. We're talking about a fundamental shift away from a game of volume to a game of value.
A huge piece of that new value game is building what experts are now calling a digital backbone. So what is that? It's basically a system that can trace a product from the literal field all the way to the shelf in a store. With new rules like the EU's anti-deforestation law, having this kind of traceability isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a non-negotiable ticket to play in the big leagues.
So, it all really boils down to this, doesn't it? Can this new focus, this green mindset, backed up by a serious digital backbone, actually transform the entire industry? Can it be the key that helps Bangladesh finally break free from this compliance trap and hit that incredible $10 billion target? You see, the ultimate prize here isn't just about being a big producer. It's about becoming a true global leader in high-quality, sustainable leather. The path forward is there, but make no mistake, the race is definitely on.